Greetings, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out. Let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Michael Dennis. I'm the Director of Marketing for InteractOne. We're a Cincinnati-based company specializing in e-commerce websites. We've been a Magento partner for more than 20 plus years, but we also specialize in Shopify and BigCommerce. Judging by the crowd, I'm very happy to see all you guys here. This morning it was a little quiet, a little slow. I was worried I'd be talking to a bunch of empty chairs, but this is fantastic. So thank you all so much for coming out. At the end of this, if you have any questions, we'll be doing a little question and answer session. So without further ado, I'm just going to kind of go ahead and get started. What I'm really going to be talking about today is how to create content that is going to help bring in legitimate leads to your business. And I'm going to be talking today about a lead magnet, more specifically. Now, you may be asking yourself, what do I mean when I say lead magnets? I'm referring to any piece of content that your brand creates in an attempt to entice visitors and potential clients to your website to give you their contact information in exchange for this piece of content. So it can be a white paper, a webinar, a how-to video. It could be an exclusive interview with an industry player or someone who's very knowledgeable within your industry. It's basically any piece of original content you're creating to bring in leads. It's a lead magnet. So what does a lead magnet have to be? There's really only a couple of different rules. It needs to be timely, it needs to be relevant, and it really needs to speak to the industry knowledge that you have available on your team. So people who download your lead magnet content, they need to go directly into your sales funnel. The lead magnet is oftentimes the first step in the long road to gaining a brand new client. You've no doubt come across hundreds of lead magnets in recent years. Odds are you've probably downloaded more than a few of them. Even in the marketing world, organizations like AdAge, AdWeekly, Marketo, they produce tons of lead magnets. But lead magnets just aren't for giant companies that have floors worth of people and resources to dedicate to creating them. And today I'm going to show you how even the smallest marketing team can create a professional, timely, and relevant lead magnet that will capture the attention of your target market and help bring in qualified leads. The first step in creating a lead magnet is determining what your lead magnet is going to be about, and how do you go about choosing topics that will entice potential clients to simply hand you their contact information. Well, the first you need to identify who your target audience is. Sit down and ask yourself as a company, who is our ideal client? What work do we as an organization want to do more of? What work are we consistently asked to do? What are you great at? What are you guys producing on a regular basis and want to do more of? And then also, how do you want to position yourselves in the marketplace moving forward? These questions will help you identify your target market, who your target market is for your lead magnet, and who you want to craft this specific piece of content for. Once you determine your target audience, it's time for another round of internal research and questions. Next, you need to figure out what are your target market's pain points and what problems can you directly help them solve. For example, I had a client that produced online training videos for residential real estate agents. It was a subscription-based service, so think LinkedIn Learning, but just for residential real estate. And we wanted our lead magnets to highlight our extensive industry knowledge while also introducing our brand to agents around the country who had never heard of our product. So we chose topics that affected agents of all skill levels, newly licensed all the way up to people who've been in the industry for 20 plus years. And we crafted lead magnets designed to help them with a very specific problem that they would face on a regular basis. So we created lead magnets based around topics like a business plan template for your real estate business, how to create an annual marketing plan, and how to shoot real estate photography like a pro. These were all downloadable PDFs that all addressed a very specific need that our target audience had, and we were able to fill that need and help them along with this little problem they were having. Another way to determine a topic for your lead magnet is to look at the work you're already doing. Is there a particular thing that you or someone on your staff does particularly well? Perhaps you have a really talented coder who can walk viewers through a how-to video. Are clients asking you to build content calendars or brand guides? These are topics that would all be perfect for a how-to PDF for you guys to develop. Also take a look at Google Analytics for inspiration. Find the keywords that people are using to find your site and company online and use that as a guide. Also, if you're operating a B2B or a B2C website that has a search bar in it and a search option, go ahead and pull that search terms report. Oftentimes people are using these search methods to tell you exactly what they want from you. Fill that need and create a lead magnet content to catch their eye and get them into your sales funnel. I don't know about you, but if I have a particular problem and I search the web looking for some help on it, and someone's produced a piece of, whether it's a blog or a lead magnet that directly addresses a problem that I'm having, I'm more than likely to download that lead magnet to exchange my information over for it, or at least stick around and check out the blog. So keep that in mind when you're developing these for yourself. You can also look to your industry for current trends or big events. For example, our current company, InteractOne, this is a time for a cheap plug for us. We build and maintain e-commerce websites specializing in Magento. It just so happens Magento has a big event coming up in the next 12 months. They are currently ending their support for their long-existing Magento 1 platform. That is going to end in June of 2020, which means everyone in the country who is currently on Magento 1 needs to migrate off of Magento 1 to Magento 2 or to another platform like BigCommerce or Shopify. So we're producing a number of how-to lead magnets designed specifically to educate and inform e-commerce brands and merchants about their options during this transition. The end of life for Magento 1 support is a topic that's timely, relevant, and addresses a pain point for our target market. It also highlights, as an organization, our industry knowledge and talents. It also happens to be a search term that more and more visitors are using to find our websites on a monthly basis. So when they arrive to our current website looking for help with their Magento 1 end-of-life transfer and their migration, we already have content waiting for them to download and to consume right when they come to the site. Also, if you're looking for other topics to build a lead magnet on, take a look around and see what other assets you might actually already have created. Do you have any old blogs or old scripts lying around? Old blogs can be updated and repurposed. Let's say you have a top 10 industry trends of 2017 blog in your library. Don't be afraid to dust that off and give it some new research, some new copy, and a little bit of love, and turn that into a top 10 trends of 2019 lead magnet. Don't worry about anybody noticing. No one's going to notice that your big, beautiful lead magnet is actually an updated, repurposed blog from 2 years ago, especially not brand new visitors who come to your website based on search. That same real estate company that I was working for a few years ago, like I mentioned, we produced a whole bunch of online training videos, which meant we had more than 70 videos in our library. That also meant we had more than 70 shooting scripts lying around. And these scripts were filled with very specific action, knowledge and actionable items for our users and viewers to take away. So we're able to sit down, go through those scripts, look for specific sections and topics, and able to merge them into a single lead magnet. So all the content that I already had for a brand new lead magnet was already sitting there. I just had to find it, reorganize it, add in a few other design elements, and boom, we have a brand new lead magnet that's ready to roll out for new visitors and new guests who come in. If you're still stuck and you're wondering about some other options for topics, start tapping into some of the talent and, I'm not ready for that yet, sorry. Start tapping into some of the talent and knowledge that you might have on staff. They have all this talent, they have this ability. You can call them in you can do a sit-down interview with them. If this is someone on your staff who's not necessarily great at, writing or design, record your conversation with them. You can use that as your jumping off point for your lead magnet, or to fill in a lot of the research gaps that you probably wouldn't have come across on your own. And if you're still stuck and you don't have any staff knowledge to tap into or old assets to repackage, don't worry. This next slide is for you, and it's perhaps the most important segment of the presentation. If you're going to take away anything from this today, it's some of my favorite slogans, and that's good artists create, great artists steal. Or if you rip off one person, you're stealing. If you rip off everyone, it's called research. So, take a look around. What are your competitors producing? What are your industry leaders producing? Is there something you can take for design inspiration from a competitor's lead magnet and apply it to your own? Is there a topic that an industry leader has covered? You can turn that into a video of some kind. You can use it a different format and put your own company's spin on that actual piece. Use it as inspiration. Don't be afraid to look outside of your walls for great ideas and for guidance. So you've determined your lead magnet, and now how do you create a lead magnet with a small marketing team and limited resources? And really, what form should it take? No matter what form, like I said, look to tap into the knowledge of your staff. There's no substitute for years of experience, and your company should be making the most of the expertise and knowledge that you already have on hand and in-house. How-to videos can be a simple way to produce very detailed and specific content. They can be made with as little as a script, a microphone, and a on-screen, quick-time screen recording. Select someone on your staff with extensive knowledge about your chosen topic. Make sure to plan it out in advance so that each step along the process you're trying to share, everyone's on the right page for. You don't have to go in, you don't have to create a really detailed shooting script, but just know what major points you're going to hit in this how-to video. And remember that, so when you sit down and hit record for yourself or with someone on your team, remember this doesn't have to be all done in one take. It's not going live the second you hit record. Take your time and assure everyone involved that this isn't going live instantly. After the recording is complete, you as the content creator can then take the time to take that screen recording or that video that you just produced and go back and add your own voiceover to it and add some other visual elements to make it more of a complete piece. You can just lay your voiceover recording right over top of that screen recording, and there you already have a how-to lead magnet already created and ready to go. But if you're producing a PDF lead magnet, not a video, how do you utilize on-site staff without pulling your team members away from other work that may be more important or actually billable? So plan a sit-down interview with them and make sure you're recording the audio. Let your coworker be as detailed as they possibly can during your conversation. And if you're recording it, that way you won't miss anything. Then, as the expert content creator that you no doubt are, you can go back and add that into the PDF. The knowledge they've shared with you and the insight that they give with their years of experience is going to give you some new directions to take your research. It's going to give you a whole lot of new insight that you probably wouldn't have come across on your own. It's really such a great way to tap into years of knowledge and to make the piece that you're creating that much more valuable and that much better for your brand. Okay, so you've created your lead, you've got the body of your lead magnet already created, and now what do we do about design? You've recorded your video, you've written out the body. Presentation is very important. You can have the best, most informative white paper or instructional video, but it won't get a single legitimate lead if it all looks like garbage. Your lead magnet needs to be presented well. I mean, after all, at its core, this is a piece being created to sell people on your company and your talents. So presentation matters. If you're creating a video, make sure that it includes some very basic visual elements with on-screen text, title card, so an introduction card at the beginning and a closing one at the end. Your title card should give every viewer a heads up as to what you're going to be covering, who the person is involved with this. And then your title card, of course, is a great chance to plug your brand and yourself once again. Many of this goes without, some people may think it goes without saying, but if you're doing an interview with video that requires actually filming someone or something, I can't stress this enough, make sure it's in focus. There have been a number of times where I've worked with people and they've gone to create a video and it comes back, it's out of focus. Even in this YouTube world, a little camera movement is okay, but being out of focus is completely verboten. When it comes to developing a professional-looking PDF, the need for professional design help is also of top import. Look around to you or anyone on your staff. Do you have anyone who knows their way around Illustrator or Photoshop? I hope so. If not, and you need to, I would recommend looking into some short-term freelance design help. Invest in a designer who can come in and create some reusable templates for you. So then, if you're creating a PDF of a lead magnet, have them create a template for you. That way you can get some extra legs out of it. That way for your next couple of downloadable PDFs, you're just creating a new body that you can just go and drop in to that template that he gave you and also swap out some original imagery. But it really pays to pay for someone who can create something that looks great for you. Just make sure it's something you can get some legs out of it. But if your budget is too small for solid freelance help, that's okay. I've been there too. It really stinks, but sometimes that's the budget you're left with. I would recommend reaching out to local colleges and getting involved with their internship programs. With the right job description and a little bit of patience, you can find low to no cost designers anxious to pad their resume. It may not be ideal, but if you're doing it all correctly, this is something that can work in the long term, and they can start to grow with you. If this is a junior designer, they can start to learn what they want, what you guys want out of the PDF that you're creating and the visual elements that you're creating, and they might end up being a long-term addition to your team. So I highly recommend reaching out to local talent that needs to pad their resume a little bit, and like I said, more specifically, colleges and universities. They really have great internship programs. There's a lot of really talented people that come out of them. Okay, so your lead magnet is created. Now what? You're going to need to get this out in front of the people and actually start collecting leads. First off, you'll need a customizable landing page specific to the lead magnet that visitors will be directed to, and that will collect all the leads themselves. So this page needs to be the same design as the lead magnet, and preferably contain the same URL as your host website, as your overall company host website. Make sure there's a form on the page that collects the contact information. Make sure that form is connected to either your main email account, your main email platform, so whether that's MailChimp or SharpSpring, but also make sure it's connected to your CRM if you're using one of those as well. And if it's connected properly, this way, when you acquire your brand new leads are going to be stored and recorded. I also highly recommend setting up some sort of automatic welcome email that automatically gets generated and sent to anyone who downloads your lead magnets. It's an opportunity to further connect with a lead, to set expectations, and also to provide additional links to pages on your website and keep them engaged with your brand and helping them to learn more about what you guys are and what you're capable of. A great example would be link them to your portfolio page or to your blog page, or if you have a very specific blog that you want to direct new visitors to, link to that as well. Also, promote it. Post it on your social channels, on LinkedIn message boards that you're a part of. And even if you're a frequenter of any industry-specific Reddit pages, don't be afraid to share it on there as well. I mean, after all, this is an item that you've produced designed to help people with a particular problem that they're having. So don't be afraid to really get it out there in front of the audience that's going to use it. I've also had a lot of success generating hundreds of leads with as little as $5 a day on Google and display ads. It's really fantastic. It'll get your lead magnet in front of hundreds, potentially thousands of relevant people per month. You don't have to break the bank. Like I said, for as little as $5 a day, I put $2 into Google AdWords and $3 into the display ads of clients that I've had in the past, and they have those ads still running. I'm still seeing ads for stuff that I built years ago because they still have it up running, and every now and then I'm going back to their website, I'm still getting reminded to download something and to interact. So you will get a whole lot of legs out of putting just a little bit of money, especially into display ads. And finally, make sure once this is all launched and it's out there to notify your sales team when you actually do get a new lead in, or make sure there's a notification set up to notify your sales team every time a brand new lead comes in. After all, you're doing all this work to get leads. You don't want them to come in and just have them sit there and do nothing with. This is your lead magnet. Let's put it to some work. So before I take any questions, I want to leave you with a few things to keep in mind. These are some great websites and some resources available for people who are on limited to no budget. Nounproject.com has millions of customizable royalty-free icons. These are great to include in your PDFs and your white papers, and also use in any videos that you're producing. And then also Canva.com. It'll give you access for the pre-made visual templates, images, illustrations for as little as $12 per month. If you're lacking in design talent, I really can't recommend this website enough. And finally, the number one thing to keep in mind when you're creating these pieces is don't try to compete with the big boys. You're not going after the same clients anyway. They have entire floors of staff to throw at these projects and to crank out a new lead magnet or a new video on a weekly or monthly basis. Don't try to keep up with them. You can't. It's impossible. I've tried. Just take your time and try to produce a couple of really interesting pieces, perhaps bi-monthly or quarterly, that is going to connect with your target audience, and make sure that they're cleaned up, they look good, and they're ready to roll out. And I guarantee if you guys stick with this over the course of a year, then you too will start generating a whole lot of actual qualified leads with people coming directly to your business who'll be impressed by what you're producing.